Hey, how's it going, everybody? Tall Tesla guy here, and we're going to talk today about something that everybody keeps asking me, and regardless of how many videos I make, people keep asking me about it, and they keep talking about it, and it's fine. It's a great question anyway, but the point of this video today is going to be, is it actually cheaper to drive an electric vehicle versus a gas vehicle? So we're going to go through the numbers, and I'm going to talk it through you today. So sit back, relax. You guys are watching the Tall Tesla guy. This is, I've made a few videos talking about this, and it's talking about the cost, the actual cost savings maybe between a gas vehicle and an electric vehicle. Now, you guys know I drive a Tesla. Now, Tesla is a little bit different because a few of the choices that you make as to which charging network you're going to use, how you're going to charge your vehicle, how much you're going to spend for it is based on the kind of vehicle, or at least it was. And we'll talk about that in a minute too. But before, up until just recently, if you didn't have a Tesla, then you couldn't charge in the Tesla supercharging network. So you were sort of stuck, or maybe kind of locked into using, third-party chargers, Electrify America, ChargePoint, things like that. Level 2 chargers, sometimes level 3, or level 1 anyway. And that was really it. That was your only option. So you were spending a lot of time charging. So if you count the time value of your money too, in addition to just what you're spending for the charge, it probably wasn't worth it unless you had a Tesla. Now the Tesla, you use the supercharging network. Now I've had a Tesla Model Y since 2020, so for about 4 years now. And I'll say the cost of a supercharger isn't free. It's not free by any means, but the time value of what you get, 10-15 minutes, is about what I would spend at a supercharger, maybe even less. And that's about what you spend at a gas station, 5-10 minutes, something like that. So the time value equivalent is about the same between gas and a Tesla supercharger. Now, all EVs, at least coming into next year, will be able to use Tesla supercharging network. So that part's going to be out the window. But before then, if you went to a level 2 charger, ChargePoint, Electrify America, and you actually wanted to get enough charge to continue on your trip, you're probably going to be there about an hour, which doesn't make any sense. So it was more practical to charge at home if you were going to use, if you didn't have a Tesla, if you were going to use any other EV network, it was going to be more realistic to charge at home. Now, I also charge my Tesla at home, but the advantage of a Tesla is that you can plug it in anywhere. Anywhere there's a plug, you can plug it in and start charging. Now, if you take all that out of there, take the time value of the money out of there completely, and all you're doing is looking at sort of the cost, an apples to apples, or at least as close as an apples to apples you can get, comparison, you're gonna say that if you went back a couple of years and you're spending that amount of money, like I said, I was spending, so a couple years ago, gas was about 4 something a gallon. I had a 35 mile per gallon average range in my car. I was spending about $50 a week in gas, which equated to about $200 a month. Charging at home, I was spending about $35 a month in additional charges to my utility bill, and that was based on previous to having the car and then adding the car into the fleet, my home fleet. And so my gas savings versus the dollar savings that I had, I was saving close to $150 a month, $170 a month by having the electric car. Now, that doesn't take into account the supercharging. Like I said in the beginning, it's not free to supercharge. It's not free to use most of the chargers. Now, there are some level 1 chargers and level 2 chargers around town, even where I live now, that are free. They're complimentary. Like, you go to the courthouse, you go to register your vehicle sometimes, and they have free charging. So I would say that on average, I'm going to spend, even if I spent $40 a month plugging in at home, which is what I do most of the time, my outside of the house charging would equate to maybe, $40 a month or something like that. So even if you take the two together and you put about $70 a month that you're spending between home charging and supercharging or out of network charging, it's still a considerable amount cheaper than what I'm paying for gas. Still a considerable amount. It's still at least $200 a month in gas. I spend about $50 a week. Now, we have a bigger car that's not quite as fuel efficient now, but it ends up being about $50 a week. Now, that's fluctuating for gas, that's fluctuating for how many miles you drive, where you charge, all that kind of stuff, and I understand all that. Now, you can take into account too the maintenance of the vehicle. There's zero maintenance on the Tesla other than putting in washer fluid maybe and changing the windshield wiper blades, which I haven't had to yet, other than the washer fluid. So that sort of maintenance is out the window. The gas vehicle carrying maintenance is certainly higher yearly. I do go through tires and they say that, but you know, honestly, I've had this car for 2 years and I'm still on the same set of tires, about 40,000 miles on it. So if I can get 45,000 miles, then I'm happy with it, even in a gas vehicle. So I can't necessarily say that I'm ripping through tires as much as I thought I might either. In the end, you know, it depends how you drive, where you're located, how you're charging, if it fits into your lifestyle. I think with all of the EVs being on the Tesla Supercharger network, they're going to be faster charging, and in some cases, most cases, it's going to be cheaper. So in a sense, you'll be able to use that and, you know, sort of negate any of the time expense that you're spending, you know, time value of your money, all that kind of stuff too. So, you know, coming down to it, is it cheaper? Yeah, probably. I mean, I think it is. I think it's hard-lined, you know, wallet cheaper, but it's how much you enjoy the vehicle. And if you hate it, if you're not going to like it, if you don't like the way that the car looks, you're not comfortable in it somehow, then you're not going to like it no matter what. It could be free to charge and you still wouldn't like it. And I think that's kind of the hang up that some of the people have. They get stuck on that part of it. They just don't like the car, the company, the owner, whatever it is. So it doesn't matter how much it's going to cost. In the end, they're still going to question it or think about it. I can say in 4 years of experience, I save money using charging versus buying gas. Regardless of how much the gas is, I don't know, so it's going to get much cheaper than it is. It's about $3 something a gallon now where I live, and I would kind of challenge anybody to find gas that's close to what it is even 10-15 years ago. Until that happens, I would say that it's definitely going to be cheaper. Electricity is always going to be cheaper than gas, if you know, not even considering, I don't know, environmental impact on either of the situations. But I will say that I enjoy the car. I love it, and I would spend probably twice as much. I would spend as much as I was spending on gas just to have it and drive it. I like it that much. But yeah, either way, I really appreciate you guys tuning in. I appreciate you guys watching the video, checking in with the channel, all that sort of stuff. I hope you're saving money if you're trying to do that wherever you are, whatever you're doing. And either way, I hope you're staying safe out there. Thanks for watching, everybody.